At Direct Service Overhead, we know how much trust you put in the individuals who have the privilege of working on the components of your home. We understand that a broken garage door is the last thing you want to be worried about, and most of the time, doors break at the most inconvenient times. Our professionally trained technicians service 24 hours a day, and our high-cycle parts are guaranteed to make a noticeable impact on your garage door without putting a damper on your wallet. If you're looking for need of assistance maintaining your current garage door, our team has the experience and expertise to deliver the results you deserve. Give Direct Service Overhead a call today or visit us online to learn more.
All right, let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans everywhere? Welcome. Welcome to the one and only Pig Trail Network YouTube channel. Do me a favor, like, share. Subscribe. And, check out all the links provided for you down below. Of course, shout out to Patreon supporters, to you guys here in live chat, and, of course, to the PTN sponsors, Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. Those guys will replace or repair your garage door. So feel free to hit those guys up. Their link is provided for you down below in the description box. And, of course, Standout Apparel, who has a unique shirt just for you from State Pride, funny, sassy, sarcastic, and pop culture. Our shirts are hand-printed on premium material that will leave you feeling and looking great. Our store offers something for everyone. That, again, is Standout Apparel. Their link is provided also in the description box, and they're both in our Discord on the PTN sponsor page. All right, Arkansas, I know, streaming, doing a post-game show with the conference, all these games going on today, the SEC championship, which last I looked was tied up at halftime, I believe. Not going to lie, I'm not shocked by that. Anymore, nothing surprises me. In college football, especially when it comes to Bama, you just never bet those guys out, And they've played a great first half with Georgia. In fact, they led for a little while. So we're going to probably keep this one short so we can all get back and watch that game. We'll just we'll comb over this game a little bit. I'll try to read some of your comments. But again, remember to like the stream, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the content. It wasn't really it's not really a tale of two halves. I kind of felt like they played at the same pace through most of the game. 3-point defense in the first half was great for the most part. The second half, it was trash. UALR, I think, knocked down 4 of their first 5 threes. I think 2 of those were wide open looks, maybe 3, and then they went on. And how many threes did they hit in the second half? Like 5 or 6. A lot of work to do outside. I don't know. At this point, you're 8 games in. I really don't know what what more you can do. I mean, I know they're still working on the rotation. We saw some surprising players tonight get some key moments. Key minutes. Wade ended up playing quite a bit in the first half. Several guys. I was a little shocked at how much they got to play. It wasn't like they were just sub-ins. It was like they got some solid minutes. Your starting five tonight was Jalen Williams, Connor Vanover, Devo, Tony, and Note. The same five who I feel like we're probably going to see from this point on. Maybe with a switching with, how they do with Connor. We might see him start. He'll win the tip-off. He'll get a few minutes, and then I'm talking about conference play when we get there. Probably get a few minutes, and then the first time he takes a wide-open three and misses, Musselman will pull him. I feel like that's what we're heading towards. KK Robinson played. Both Robinsons played tonight, and we're starting to see them more and more. Wade, we're starting to see more and more, and, of course, Likes came off the bench, who ended up being your third leading scorer because you had two guys tied at 18, Tony and Note. Devo Davis had 16, so your second leading scorer. The bench production today was pretty solid. I think right now the biggest takeaway is they're still struggling defending outside. Now, it's not like UALR. It's not like Little Rock. The Trojans, it's not like they lit it up. It's not like they went 15-22 or something. They went 8-21. They shot just south or right at about 38%. 48% field goal overall, 27-56 there. They were 16-23. They took almost as many shots at the free throw line. I'm going to say there were a couple of times where I just felt like they were picking, like these officials were just picking on Devo. Like, come on. There was a play where a guy's setting up an illegal screen, arms are extended. He's using his leverage to move Devo Davis out of the way to help set up the screen. Clearly, that's an illegal screen. You can't do that. You can't do that, period. You cannot extend your arms. You just can't do it. And they got away with it, but they hit Devo with the foul. There were several calls, and you're always going to have a couple, right? And I try not to get after officiating, but tonight was not stellar officiating. I thought it was pretty rough. And you even heard the announcers say it. I wish, maybe we'll see fewer fouls. Seems like they were calling everything, and you're talking about both teams shot at least 23 attempts at the free throw line tonight. That's a lot. Or more. I think that's the most fouls in a game we've seen this year. I might be wrong. If it's not the most, it's the second most. But I thought the officials really slowed the tempo of this game down, and they caught Arkansas. Yeah, they got Arkansas, sure. They probably got away with a couple. But so did UALR. Again, like in any sport, there's always going to be something on every possession where you could probably call that, or it's a 50-50 call or whatever. But it seemed like this game was more than they were more than generous blowing the whistle tonight, and it just seemed a little bit ridiculous on several calls. Now, when you make that many, I would argue there were at least 3 or 4 very questionable foul calls in the second half. In the first half, you had a few on both sides. But, no, I felt like the officials played too big of a role. They did kind of disrupt the flow of the game for a little bit, but then Arkansas was still able to pull away and win by a pretty decent margin. I think Little Rock is we might be talking about Little Rock being their top 3 non-con opponent this year. I feel like when we look back, I'm not saying they're going to make the tournament, but they did come into this game at 500, 4-4. They played a pretty tough schedule, and they've been pretty salty at times this year. They walked into Fayetteville like they were glad to be there. Arkansas never really pulled away. I'm gonna be honest. I was back and forth between this game and the Bama game. I probably missed a handful of possessions, but I felt like for the most part, like the Trojans came to play. They were not scared at all. And Bud Walton, I don't know what the attendance was tonight. It did seem a little lower than you would expect, but then again, it's championship weekend, right? Middle of the day kind of game that leans itself to the evening. Like, it's one of those. It's not shocking. It's UALR. Now, if this was an undefeated Little Rock team who was 25th in the country or right outside the bubble there, right outside the top 25, but we know they're really good or capable of maybe getting an upset and just expecting to see a good game, then, yeah, I think you would have had a lot more people there. It's kind of hard to blame at this point in the season, it's not until you get into the obviously until you get into conference play where you start to see the attendance pick up. OU is still the game I'm keying in on. It's the game I'm keying in on. I'm going to tell you, I said at the beginning of the year, Arkansas strikes me as a Sweet 16 team. I'm going to have to wipe that off the board. I'm down to, I think they can make the tournament. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't think they're top 10. I just don't. I in fact, would have a hard time with them being put in the top 15. I think they do belong in the top 25. But we're seeing these slow starts every game, and we've seen them a handful of times trickle into the second half or whatever, vice versa, where they just I don't know, the defense plays kind of soft outside. They allow teams to keep up and stay in games. They give these teams confidence early on. Now, to be fair, Little Rock was, I think, 1 of 10, 1 of 11 shooting 3-point in the first half. The defense overall was okay, but it still could have been a lot better. And they are capable. Their defense, you feel like they're capable because it's Eric Musselman and how much of a stickler he is on defense. And, of course, also moving the ball. Like we've said, he counts every single possession. He counts the amount of passes for Arkansas. These are things that he monitors. I just wonder, is it a size thing that I think is going to catch up to them eventually? Maybe it's against OU. But for me, I'm backing off the Sweet 16. I don't know that I'm there. It all depends on matchups once you get to March. Now it feels like they are a matchup team. They are a team where they're probably going to need some decent matchups in the NCAA tournament to improve or to move on. Now, I'm saying that only because really I don't know how far they go. I don't know. I felt comfortable considering with Amude, Tony, Likes, these guys that came in. I felt pretty good about the guys coming back. You had to feel like, okay, KK eventually is going to find a spot. We're not really seeing him do anything. We're almost into 10 games so far, and we're not seeing KK on the floor. And when he is out there, it's not pretty. The positives for me, though, Jalen Williams' unselfishness. Now, I thought what they said in the game, I think it was in the early part of the second half, I thought they were spot on, where he's passing the ball. I think it was between him and – they're on a breakaway. It might have been off a UALR turnover, but they're moving the ball back and forth, and he clearly could have faked it and then gone up for an easy 2 points. Could have done something, but instead he went with the pass, and we've seen him do that before. But he's so unselfish, and I think, too, he's an assist guy. That's what he is. That's huge, to have a big to be able to do that and to play as well around the rim as he does. But I think the thing they're missing is that dominant offensive player down low that gets you easy buckets on a consistent manner. Like I'm talking about a true 5 or your power forward, a 4. They don't really have that. They have Jalen who can get rebounds, right? He can defeat defensive rebounds, trying to spit that out. Good on that angle on defensive rebounds. They crash the boards really well, but they don't have a dominant underneath scorer. We have guys that can put the ball back up. We have guys that can move the ball around and find a way to get points underneath the rim, but they don't have that dominant 4 or 5 who could just get easy buckets. We don't have it. And I think some of that kind of speaks to your size a little bit. It also speaks to the way they've played most of the year with Likes and JD Note taking so many shots outside. So, but again, the positives, Jalen Williams, unselfish basketball. He's an assist master. How many assists did he have tonight? I thought I counted at least 3. He had 4 assists and a steal and a block tonight, 9 points. He had a productive game. Vanover, who I don't know how many minutes he logged. Again, this hasn't refreshed on minutes. Usually takes him about 15, 20. Still don't have it. Vanover didn't do much on the offensive end. He didn't do anything at all, as a matter of fact. Devo tonight, I want to see more of that. Like, Devo tonight was awesome. 7 assists. That is unselfish basketball on top of 16 points with 7 assists and a steal. He got into foul trouble, which, again, I thought 2 of his fouls were nonsense bullshit calls. I'm just going to say it. For one, for sure, was a bullshit call because it should have been an illegal screen to begin with. That should have been what was called. But he was 8 of 11 field goal. He was 0 for 2 at 3-point. That's fine. That's kind of his game. He's not really he's not someone who's going to knock him down outside. You wish that he was, so you have that third option out there, but you've got 2 guys that can do it. But yeah, so Tony's been another one who has been huge. I would argue right now, because of his unselfishness, his ability to get rebounds, offensive and defensive. He had 8 rebounds tonight. He'll rack up a couple assists tonight, and he's getting you, what's he averaging, like 15, 16 points a game. I would argue he's your MVP so far this year, or at least my MVP. I know everyone wants to give it to J.D. Note because he can score. Likes has shown, you talk about spurt ability, it kind of starts and ends with Devo, J.D. Note, and Likes. Those are your guys that can add to that spurt ability. And I want Likes to have the ball in his hands in the final minute. I do. We're actually seeing him move the ball a little bit underneath. I love those no-look passes. I thought I saw a couple tonight. Devo had one. I thought Likes had the other. I like that. I like that little trickeration, making them guess, making them second guess. I love what I'm seeing from that angle. And when they do that, they're going to win games because underneath they do have – that's the crazy thing. They have guys that can finish around the rim. You remember year 1 under Musselman, it was like that was their biggest weakness, figuring out how to finish at the rim. They couldn't do it despite the scores that year 1 team had. And that was a great three-point defense too, year 1 under Muss. But they couldn't finish around the rim. They were horrible. This year you feel like you got 3 guys who can help you there, maybe 4. And it starts when you're able to get the movement going down low in the paint. You know, what the pick and pops. You know, setting up screens outside and then, you know, throwing it down low. They're expecting you to launch 500 threes. And, of course, we're seeing that change a little bit as the season goes on. So Arkansas ends up shooting really damn well field goal percentage, almost 57%. You were 34 of 60 there, 6 of 20. That's not terrible, but it's not good. Again, you're sub 33%, and I'm going to tell you what I say all the time. You got to shoot north of about 33% if you want to if you want to be a decent team that can stretch the floor. When you're knocking down, 9 of 20 or 8 of 20, whatever, you're knocking down a couple more threes, and you're taking good shots. You're not taking all these ugly contested shots. By the way, the corner pocket threes need to stop. I don't think we've hit maybe 2 corner pocket threes all year. I don't know why they settle for those shots. I've seen everyone on this roster, at least those starting 5, settle for even contested or uncontested open corner pocket 3. It's the lowest percentage shot under Musselman since he's been here, and that's the case for a lot of teams. I hate that shot. I hate it. When they make it, fine. All right, whatever. Of course, you're going to say, well, that was genius. Those corner pocket threes drive me insane. I think they've hit maybe 2 all year, and they've probably attempted about 10. Stop. Just stop with it. Get a little bit more. I get it when you get a little boxed out or you feel like you got a shot. Maybe it's an uncontested shot. I mean, I don't know why any defense even bothers trying to defend it. Just run underneath, go in the paint, get around the rim. You're probably going to end up with the ball and get a defensive rebound. Let me read some chat. $5 super chat. Unless the Hogs are in it, I'd rather watch your show over the SEC Championship. Oh, thank you, Fish. That was really nice, man. I think Likes goes to check in as soon as the tip is over. He was quick there tonight. Did you guys see did you see Tony miss his free throw and then go back and get it and put the ball back in get himself 2 points? Did you see that? Like, this dude is the complete package. It's so rare to watch him do anything wrong. And when he does do something wrong, like if he misses at the free throw line, well, then it's like the next possession he's boxing somebody out and he's going to get a defensive rebound, or he's going to force someone to alter their shot down low. He's going to force a turnover. He's so good, man. Like, I'm loving him this year. Right now, he's my MVP. I don't want Arkansas to lose, but guys, Arkansas basketball needs an injection of some quals, dunks, or 3-point barrage to get this thing going. Like I said, I'm not liking them. I wouldn't put them in the top 15. I just wouldn't. Ken Pom has them at like 25th. That's probably more accurate, although I'm a critic of Ken Pom because it's too damn early in the year. Teams are still trying to figure out their rotation, still trying to figure out the strengths and weaknesses of their teams against other opponents, and we're not even in conference play yet. And I guarantee you when you get into conference play, you're still going to see some guys mixing it up. You're going to still see, you're going to see Muss and other teams mix it up. Yo, Ty, what's up, Kirby Fly Guy? How you doing? I think some people want us to lose just so they can say, see, told ya. Yeah, I know what you mean, Fishman. You're exactly right. Mike and Am says Bama just scored again. Yeah, so again, I thank you guys for being here. I know that SEC Championship game is on. There's a lot of good games. That Oklahoma State game was insane. I don't know if you guys watched it. Go watch the highlights. Hell, I'd recommend it's going to be on YouTube somewhere. Go watch that whole game. I've said all along, and this is going to be an I told you so moment. They are not a playoff team. They're not. The Big 12 does not belong in the playoff this year. I'm not trying to hate, but I have, because I've been pretty critical of the Big 12. There's a reason why OU and Texas won out. That conference this is the second time now in 10, 12 years that it's almost crumbled. Now it's going to crumble. I give it a few years before they're gone, before the Big 12 is completely gone and all those teams that are left scatter off to the wind and probably form their own version of the Big 8 or something. I don't know. But they do not belong in the playoffs. I've said this all year long. I did think Baylor was going to win, or Oklahoma State was going to win. I did. I picked them to win. But I still felt like they don't belong in the playoffs. Tonight just solidified to me they didn't belong. Baylor played a backup quarterback, and I don't think they ever trailed in that entire game. Oklahoma State's quarterback threw 4 picks. It was ugly. Oklahoma State got bailed out by a couple of penalties. That PI call in the third quarter, there's a 5-yard window, and that ball was about 5 yards on top of that, and they called a PI on Baylor, and it kind of bailed Oklahoma State out. Sure, did they miss some calls both ways? Sure, that's fine. But I thought some of those penalties on Baylor were far more impactful. Baylor, they lost momentum at half. I watched probably about 80% of the game. Baylor got that, they lost the momentum at halftime. They missed that field goal. It was a block kick. And then in the third quarter, 4th and 1, and you go for it on your own 36-yard line? Like, I know you've got confidence in your defense, but my man, no. That is the dumbest thing. And at that point on, Oklahoma State was allowed back into that game. That doesn't happen. You play field position battle. I think Baylor wins this thing by double digits, or at least 9, 10 points, whatever it was, or whatever it could have been. I think whatever their lead was at that point. Oklahoma State's offense this year has not been super effective, and that's saying a lot when you play in the Big 12, where that conference doesn't know how to spell defense. I thought Oklahoma State's defense this year, and I bragged on them a couple of weeks ago, the best defense Gundy has ever had. Now, he's an offensive guy, and he was able to get things. Think about they're not loaded with 4- and 5-star talent. They're doing it with transfers and 3 stars. Got to give their defense a lot of credit this year. Baylor's defense in this game was incredible. Never bought into what Oklahoma State was doing on offense. Felt like they were overrated. The Big 12, everything about the Big 12 was overrated. I don't think of the Big 12 as a Power 5. Tonight showed me exactly why that is. Baylor's a good team. Do they belong in the top 10? Maybe right there. I know they were 9th or 10th coming into the game. They will finish top 8. I don't know that I'd put them there. And maybe they'll go on to their bowl games. They'll go undefeated in their bowl games. That's fine. I thought their week-to-week grind was pathetic, not very good. I know strength of schedules are out there, and some show Oklahoma State had a really tough schedule, so on and so forth. I've said this since going back to last week. Put Oklahoma State in the SEC West. What do you think they do? Put Baylor in the SEC West. What do you think they do? Oklahoma State head-to-head with Bama. What happens? Bama smokes that ass. That's what happens. I'm surprised. I picked Georgia to win this one. I don't remember if I picked Bama on Mark Rogers' picks. I don't know if I picked Bama to cover the spread or not. I did. I thought Georgia would win tonight pretty easily, and they aren't. I don't know what the score is there. We'll get to that here in a second. 31-17, Alabama. 31-17, and Bama looks like they're gonna be in the playoffs. That is in line with what I think should happen. I think even if they lost this game, they should have been in the playoffs. They're showing you tonight exactly what I said last week. Even though I picked Bama to lose this, I still felt like they belonged in the playoffs, and they're showing you right now why that is. Bama and Georgia will both be in the playoffs. Even if Georgia comes back and wins this thing, which would be unbelievable, they'd have to do it all, it looks like, in the fourth quarter? But I've just not bought into any Big 12 team. And, again, I think tonight showcased that. Got to give credit to Baylor's defense. Holy crap, man. I mean, they played great. Both defenses played pretty solid. And I do think Oklahoma State will probably – I don't know who they're matched up against, but their defense, they've balled out all year. They've been great on defense. Baylor tonight, great on defense. Cincinnati's on top of Houston right now. That was a game, we thought maybe Houston might have a shot. 35-13 right now, Cincy on top of Houston. I don't know how much Houston would drop back, but you got to think that might favor Arkansas. Utah State beats number 19 San Diego State 46-13. Of course, Baylor would end up beating Oklahoma State. Again, one of the best football games I've ever watched. If I'm being honest, that game was insane. I was on the edge of my seat the entire second half. Baylor 21-16 there. We've got Michigan and Iowa coming up, which will be a very important game, and I feel like Michigan should win that one by 10 or 14, probably more. Pittsburgh, Wake Forest tonight. Utah beat Oregon, so another ACC or another Pac team, kind of looking a little overrated. 38-10 to number 17. 10-3 Utah. 38-10 over Oregon. Incredible. So Saban is bored with winning. Must be nice, you old fart. Aranda said after the game he'd call that fourth down again. That was insane to me. That was the whole reason why Oklahoma State gained more momentum. They come out in the second half. They get the ball. Oklahoma State does. I think now that's the series I missed, but I believe Baylor got a 3-and-out on that series. You come back out, and it's like now you could tack some points on or at least try to go down the field and do something, eat up a little bit more clock. Well, I mean, it was early in the third quarter, but maybe establish some dominance with that run game. Do what you've done all year long with the run game. Just get something going, beat them down, wear them out, and find a way to get some points and just tack on to the lead because you never felt like Oklahoma State's offense was good enough to do anything. They weren't, but going for it there gave them the momentum that they needed to get some points. With San Diego State and Houston losing, we could move to 20 or better. We'll see. We'll see how this thing goes. Tomorrow we're going to have the bowl selection. I think it's at 11 o'clock. Now, again, like I said on Friday, I don't know for sure if I'm going live. I know I said today I wasn't sure if I was going live or not, but I ended up doing it. I didn't go to Little Rock. So stayed home, figured I might stream the high school game tonight on Discord, Fayetteville and Bryant. If you guys are in our Discord, I'm going to try and stream that game. We get to watch Razorback commit Isaiah Centennia, hopefully ball out and beat Bryant. Go Purple Dogs. SEC Football Podcast wanted us to play OU. I mean, yeah. Hogs basketball is top 10. Ty, it's T.Y. Hudson, not T.Y.E., Sean. They are very talented and going to improve this year. Team is better than last. We'll all see after SEC conference play. I don't know, Sean. I'm just saying what I've seen so far. I'm not saying you're wrong. Maybe they are. What I've seen so far, I don't know that they belong in the top 15. I think Kim Palm is probably, again, I'm skeptical of any, all rankings are kind of bullshit until you get halfway through conference play. But those top 6, top 8, you always feel, like, okay, those teams probably will finish somewhere in the top 15, top 20. But Arkansas, I don't think right now belongs in the top 15. I wouldn't have any problem at all if they wanted to scoot Arkansas back a few spots. Won't happen. We'll see. Maybe Oklahoma is the decider. Maybe that's the game that's like, all right, it's going to show us what we need to see. That will be a home game as far as I'm concerned for Oklahoma. So you do have that, and you got to figure that into your equation, right? But still, based on what I've seen, 3-point defense, not so good. 3-point shooting, not good. They've struggled in a lot of areas there. The things I like, some of the unselfish basketball we're seeing out of Jalen. We see out of Devo tonight. If Devo continues to play like this, like he did tonight, it'll make me feel a lot better. I'll tell you that. Devo balled out. Let's go over those numbers really quick. We didn't talk about Arkansas. I was waiting. I'm trying to get these minutes refreshed, and they're not giving me the minutes. So, like we said, Arkansas, 56% field goal. You got to love that. 34-60. 30%. 19 of 26 at the free throw line, finishing just north of 73% there. You got production out of your bench, right? We saw Jackson Robinson come out, 3 rebounds, or come onto the floor, 3 rebounds, a steal, 5 points. I don't know how many minutes he got. I'm not even going to guess because it felt like he played more, but you know how that goes. You feel like he was out there more than he probably was. But Jalen with 9 points. Again, he's always so close to a double-double. 4 assists tonight, a block, 7 rebounds, 6 defensive, 1 offensive. You know who led this game in offensive rebounds. I don't even have to tell you, but it was Tony. Tony tonight, 8 total rebounds, 2 assists, 18 points, 1 block, 2 defensive rebounds, Tony continues to be the reason why. Him and Jalen Williams continue to be the reason why I have so much hope for this team. Again, I want to see both the Robinsons get mixed in more. I want to see Wade get some quality minutes. I want him to be a guy. That dude looks like an NFL outside linebacker. I mean, he just looks like, I'm going to take your head off. Wade looks like a manimal out there on the court, on the floor. I want to see that dude body some folks. I want to see him battle. He didn't do a lot. He didn't do anything on the boards. He did get 4 points. He got an assist. I don't know that maybe that's not his role. He should be. But I want to see these guys. They ended up rotating 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they ended up rotating 10 tonight. I think some of the reason why they got off to this slow start was probably because Musselman was looking for something. We saw Jackson Robinson played quite a bit, it looked like, and then Wade played quite a bit in the first half. So I think that had something to do with it. Maybe Muss was trying to look for some more chemistry elsewhere. I don't know. So, yeah, Vanover tonight, not real pleased with what I saw out of him. Vanover, I don't know how many minutes. He didn't get a lot, but looked like he was getting boxed out, and he got blocked. I mean, 7-3. I'm telling you, when he's got the ball in his hands, he's so slow. He's so slow with the ball down in the paint, man. Doesn't matter. And his wind up, when he tries to bounce the ball and then tries to put it up, like, dude, that's not your game. That's not your game. Either kick it out or just get us a putback. Do something different. You can't dribble the ball and expect to do anything with it. You're 7-3. It takes you 2 minutes to get that ball from the floor all the way up to the rim. He's so slow. I like him, from a rebounding standpoint. He must not have logged very many minutes because he has no stats tonight. 0 for 2 field goal, 0 for 1 at 3-point. He must not have logged a lot of minutes. So, Devo tonight has got to be – it's between him and Tony as your MVP, I think. I'd probably end up giving it to Tony, but at the same time, I'm loving that 16 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. I'm loving that production. I'm loving it. So, I hope we get Clemson or Wake. You could. You very well could. Saw Gentry Williams made an unofficial visit today. So, we know for a fact – I was going to kind of save some of this for later. We know for a fact Gentry Williams is here on his I don't have my notepad. Crap. Well, Gentry Williams, I forgot who it was another corner, LSU corner, who's currently committed. He's a 4-star. I don't have my phone or my notepad. I forgot the kid's name. It's Latavius. What's his name? 4-star corner. I don't think they have a shot. I don't think they have a shot at him. Maybe Gentry, because Gentry Williams has been recruited by Arkansas for a while. God, if they could flip him, oh my gosh. We know that, so he's here. The other guys that were here are the ones that are currently committed. That's James Joyner, who's here on a visit, by the way, who tweeted a pair of eyes. I think it was him that tweeted or said something to the effect on Twitter, something about, hang on, let's go find what he said. What did he say on Twitter? And Isaiah Centennia got in on it. So there's something going on. I don't know if they're expecting – oh, look at you, Haas, getting the retweets out there. Look at you. Look at you, Haas. James Joyner. Okay, Joyner tweeted, and we got to talk about this because we've seen this lead to something. When the players get in on it. Stay tuned, Razorback Nation. That's what it is with the eyeballs. And it's a picture of who's in that photo. Who is that? My eyes are terrible. I can't see who that is. It's him and another player. Is that him and Samuel Mbake? Who is that? Who's the other player? That can't be, because that guy does not look 6'3". Joyner's, how tall is Joyner? Like 5'10"? It is Mbake. So that picture, there's a photo of him and Mbake posing together. Here, I'll share my screen. There it is. I don't know how well you can see that. That's what they tweeted. So I mean, yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. Would love if we played Clemson. Hazelwood and Gentry Williams, if they commit, I feel a lot better about Burks walking. Okay, Mike and them shared his tweet. Yeah, the eyeballs. Yeah. Something's going on. So, all right. What are we at? 38 minutes. Okay, go enjoy the rest of that game. The Alabama, I don't know if you're going to watch much more of that game. I was going to go over some of the numbers today from the scoreboard. Nothing really shocking in basketball outside of Ole Miss beating Memphis. Ole Miss beat Memphis, number 18 Memphis, 67-63. Someone brought up Yale, but it's Yale. I mean, but Auburn beat Yale today pretty easily, 86-64. It's Yale. Like, I don't know why anyone wants me to talk about that. Wisconsin beat Marquette. Marquette 7-2 on the year. Wisconsin 7-1. They won that game by 13, 89-76. And then I thought there was another score that was worth noting. USC's playing Washington State tonight. That ought to be a pretty good one. Both those teams. Well, Washington State's got one loss on the year. Alabama plays Gonzaga tonight. That will be an interesting game. Number 16, Alabama is. Wait, really? Is that tonight? Oh, man, that's tonight. It is tonight. Alabama at Gonzaga. 6-1 Bama versus 7-1 Gonzaga. So there's a lot of games. Iowa State taking on Creighton tonight. Creighton's 7-1. Iowa State, number 19 in the country. I feel like I thought I flipped over to women's basketball for a second, looking at some of these teams. But yeah, some of these ranks. All right, a lot of sports today has been fantastic. If you're a Razorback fan, you got to look. It was a win. Wasn't necessarily pretty, but you'll take it, right? Georgia got that little brother PTSD. Yeah. Bama doing. Like I said, Bama belongs in the playoffs. I'm going to end it with that. Woo pig. I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow after the bowl selection. Maybe I'll save it for Monday. Just make sure you've subscribed. You hit the notification bell and all that good stuff. All right? Woo pig. I'll see you guys at some point. Possibly tomorrow. For sure Monday. Go Hogs.